Hey everybody, it's late. Sort of.
Yeah, it's later. 7. So, which means I got dinner started, and I was going to make sketty tonight, and I don't do fucking canned ragu, because I worked in kitchens for years, and a decent sketty sauce takes like an hour.
Mm-hmm.
I could do like a 4-hour fucking Dutch oven sauce, but like, what do I look like? An asshole?
That is required for a Dutch oven, but you know.
Yeah. The fair.
Hey everybody, it's Tuesday, November the 16th, 2020, and this is the Fourth and Wrong Podcast. I'm your host, RJ, and joining me as always is Keith. Say hi, Keith.
Hi, Keith.
Woo!
We're here.
We're here.
We finally made it.
Back to the other side of your bye week.
Yeah. What a side to be on.
The winning side.
And the shirt's irrelevant, but it's important.
This hoodie used to have a Bills logo on it, I swear.
It's kind of still there.
The outline, the ghost. The shadow of what once was, of potential, much like this week's game. Shattered potential.
just a little bit.
But we'll get to that. Unless we have anything non-pressing to talk about, we can get into your game.
Nothing pressing on my end. We got some pressing news on
Nice.
pressing news on the back half of the show.
Nice.
But I mean, if you want some pressing nudes, I got those too.
Sure.
Just let me clean my glasses real quick.
Are they like in science class when you put the thing under the microscope?
Yeah, and you like press it between the two things,
Uh-huh.
and then that could be a genre. We can figure it out. We'll send it to the Fourth and Wrong marketing team, see if they can run with it.
Yep. Fourth and merch. Look at our micro nudes.
Yeah. We'll literally send you. We'll mail people like microscope slides of naked bacteria.
So it's microfiche. It's like spies back in the 70s or fucking whatever.
Hell yeah.
Tiny
Hell
cameras.
yeah, brother.
You know what their solution to we need a small camera was? They just made they're like, just make the whole thing tiny.
Yeah, stuff like that, it like reminds me of like fucking
But it was still like
Zoolander.
100% normally functional. It was like,
Yeah.
still had to like
You saw
turn the
that
little dial.
they reminds me of Zoolander with his little tiny like baby cell phone. So football happened.
Football happened.
The Browns happened. The Browns won another game,
They sure did, and they weren't a 6-point team.
and they weren't a 6-point team doing it. They were only a 10-point team.
Yeah.
But that's not a 6-point team. In another really shitty day in Cleveland.
Yo, that weather was something. I literally
Yeah.
before the game started, because we had a delay, I literally sent you a message that was just like, a weather delay. What is this? I thought this was football.
Right, and come to find out, a big thunderstorm just rolled off the lake.
Yeah.
And
Did you see the
slammed its
footage
dick
of-
right into Cleveland.
Did you see the footage of them standing out for like the national anthem and stuff at the beginning?
I did not.
Oh
Was it
my
funny?
god. They
Were
were
they just like being blown away?
just absolutely just Baker like losing his composure, laughing at it because he's like, this shit is ridiculous.
Yeah, this is whack.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Erie effect. So yeah, there was like hail and a thunderstorm, and even during the entire game, it was 30, 35 mile an hour winds again.
Yep.
This is 2 games in a row in Cleveland where they've had to deal with adverse wind conditions.
Enjoy that shit, kickers.
Yep, and that's two. It's 2 games in a row where This one, it actually served our benefit because we won, but it's 2 games in a row where the opposing kicker suffered because of it. Our kicker went perfect. Their kicker did not. The one field goal they missed, well, it was a 3-point game. So Cleveland won.
It was enough.
Yep, it was enough. Cleveland won 10-7 on the back of the returning and reigning badass motherfucker that is Nick Chubb. Look at this guy. Fucking making people look how sad JJ Watt is in the background of that picture because he knows he fucked up.
That's like how I look.
It's like, man, this motherfucker. That was his thought the entire time. Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt combined for 230 yards and a touchdown.
Yep.
Both of them
breaking
were
100 yards.
Yeah, both of them breaking 100 yards. Both of them averaging 5+ yards a carry. Chubb was actually 6+ yards a carry. Now, I want to preface this with Houston does have the worst rushing defense in the league.
Their tackling was poor.
It was subpar, some would say.
Yeah.
But if there was a game where the running game needed to turn on and really establish that fucking identity we've been talking about since the beginning of the year, this was it. It wasn't going to be pretty. Just looking at the weather, we knew it wasn't going to be pretty. And the passing game on both sides of the ball wasn't pretty. Deshaun Watson nor Baker could get anything going. It was, like you said, just enough. It was so just enough that at the end of the game, Nick Chubb broke off for a 50-yard scamper and went out of bounds at the 1 so they could shoot clock. Because Nick Chubb literally could have just walked in for another touchdown after breaking, literally juking a defender out of his cleats in the backfield and hitting the gap, and then turning on that second level speed that power back should not have, but he just does.
Right.
And just completely pulled away from the whole team, and then right before he walked in for the touchdown, he just stepped out of bounds. And then we lined up in victory formation and clocked it. The only way that play could have been better is if Nick Chubb, instead of stepping out of bounds, just surrendered himself on the 1 and kept the clock going.
Right.
But it didn't matter. Houston was out of timeouts. So that was the one complaint of that play that everybody was going on about, in the circles, Twitter and Facebook and all that fun stuff. And it's just they had no timeouts. It doesn't matter.
Right.
You just kneel the ball. The game's over, which is exactly what happened. Evidently, that was a Baker Mayfield thing. Baker Mayfield in the huddle looked at Nick Chubb and was like, if you're about to score, don't. And Nick Chubb was like, all right, bet. Because Nick Chubb don't give a shit about stat sheets. He's there to play football.
So my season's already fucked up. I ain't winning no rushing title.
Yeah, missing, at this point, missing 6 games is
pretty
really
substantial.
put a damper on that. He could still compete for, he could still potentially break 1,000 the way our running game plays, but...
Oh, sure.
But
sure.
yeah, the Russian title probably not going to happen. I mean, he's technically only played 5 games this year, and he's already at 460 yards.
Yeah.
So he's got plenty of opportunity to make up for the yards lost, especially with how much we lean on that run game. The rest of the game, though, was relatively unremarkable. It was an ugly game again. There were some good plays on both sides of the ball, but where Houston needed to put up points, especially on that field goal, they got dicked by the weather. It was a hard field goal and a very hard stadium to kick in traditionally, and 35-mile-an-hour winds don't make it any easier. So, squeaked one out by 3, and we move up to 6-3 on the year, 4-1 at home. We're protecting the dog pound. We got 2 losses away, 1 loss at the crib. So, going into the rest of our...
So you must have a lot of road games coming up, then.
We do. We only have 3 home games left, and then the rest are away. So we got 3 home games left, and the rest are, and then 4 that are on the road. Next week we go into playing the Eagles. I'm not worried about the fucking Eagles. So there's not. This is just more of exactly what we were talking about last week and the week before when I said, we got to take advantage of the bye and get healthy. Myles Garrett got healthy. Nick Chubb got healthy. Baker Mayfield he was there. Fucking Myles Garrett got himself a half a sack and 2.5 tackles for a loss. Sheldon Richardson got himself a whole ass sack. So we were all over. all over Houston's offensive line for most of the game, just keeping that offense at bay. This is another one of those games where it really proves how much Bill O'Brien didn't need to be in charge of player and personnel, because the Houston Texans are 2-7, and what stamps that Bill O'Brien doesn't need to be in charge of player personnel directly relates to your game, actually, because it's Bill O'Brien's fault y'all lost.
Yeah, he didn't do us any favors on that trade.
But unless you got something, man, that's all I really got about the Bills or the Browns Texans game. Like,
no,
it was another slog, but it was more enjoyable to watch because we won and Nick Chubb was back out there doing his thing.
Yeah, I think those are the noteworthy things. I think unremarkable was, your comment on that was pretty apt.
Yeah, a win's a win, baby.
A win is not a thing we could secure, though we tried.
God, fuck did you guys try. That was a good fucking game, dude.
It was a good game.
That was a really exciting football game.
Ultimately, I can only be so upset about the loss. It shouldn't have happened. But total bullshit aside, we won that game.
Yeah, I assume some statistician somewhere, like, obviously the percentage of D-Hop catching that ball is remarkably low.
Where's the ESPN percentage thing that they've got the win percentage over the course of the game?
Oh yeah, just to watch the plummet.
Yeah,
it's probably there. It's probably under game. Oh yeah, it's under Gamecast.
Yeah, it completely spikes. That win percentage gets dribbled at the end there.
Yeah, it went from 97% for the Bills all the way down to 100% for the Cardinals in literally a split second. Mm-hmm. Because D-Hop did... let's face it, D-Hop literally mossed 3 of your best defenders.
Yep, that Jordan Poyer, Micah Hyde, and Tre'Davious White all got jumped on.
Mm-hmm. And D-Hop's a big dude. He got big hands.
I mean,
there it is.
I'm not hiding from it. Shit sucks, and it's an annoying ending because Josh Allen had another signature drive, down the field, and made the pass to a diving Stephon Diggs, who made another big play, proving why he's leading the league in so many categories. Though Cole Beasley was really the one who had the big game this week.
Yeah.
And then, they made a couple completions to get down the field, and then Kyler Murray threw it into, Nuke's fucking area code, and he just went and got it, and we lost.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's a shame because there was so much good football to talk about prior to that happening, and then it just kind of...
There was a fair amount. Yeah,
and it just kind of deflates the entire thing. Well, I mean, like you already mentioned once, Cole Beasley was having himself a day.
Yeah.
And Stephon Diggs was right there behind him. I would argue Josh Allen definitely didn't play his cleanest game.
No, I will see, and that's one of the things I was going to get to is Josh Allen was trying all day to throw it to Patrick Peterson, all day long. That dude, he should have had 2 more interceptions than he had already, at least. And our running game couldn't get going, and then we continue to not be able to stop anything on defense up the A-gap to save our goddamn lives. Our actual passing defense, I think our secondary held up relatively well considering, who they were going up against, until that last play. But Kenyon Drake was kind of doing whatever the fuck he wanted most times.
Yeah, Kenyon Drake is a good back, but y'all's defense made him look like a Pro Bowler.
Yeah.
And then Kyler Murray getting loose in the backfield. There's almost nothing you can really do about it. He's a squirrely sumbitch.
It was interesting. We were doing a decent job of containing him to the line of scrimmage. It felt like on a lot of plays. Like, he definitely got loose a few times, but he's gonna do that. But the number of times that he would roll out to the side and basically just bounce off of a Bills defender and then bounce off of another one and bounce off of another one until he was basically at the sideline or two guys finally had him like hemmed in. He could have done a lot more damage than he even did still.
Yeah.
But they did enough to get the win. Larry, I saw a great comment that Larry Fitzgerald's hands are so good he even helps in catching interceptions. Did you see that play?
No, you're going to have to...
So Larry is falling to the ground, scoops it, and it almost looks like almost looks like he like presses it, and it just pops back up out of his hands like directly into Jordan Poyer's lap.
Yeah, I did see that. I didn't know that was Larry Fitz. Yeah.
yeah, that was Larry.
Yeah, that's funny.
So,
yeah, fucking Cole Beasley had himself a fucking catch that was super fucking impressive.
Oh yeah, he went up one-handed on the sideline.
Channeling his vintage 2015 Odell.
Like, Cole Beasley's 5'8", he played about 6'3" on that play. But yeah, I mean, he went over 100 yards receiving. So Cole Beasley will pop off and do that about once a season. Last year it was against Dallas on Thanksgiving. I think he had like 111 or 118 or something like that.
Yeah. Well, that's twice now this year that Cole Beasley's put on a little bit of a show.
And we have a good receiving core kind of across the board, and different guys will do it to you. Stefon's just the guy who is really proving he's that number one wide receiver for us. And here's the thing. I really think this game, in less than a minute of gameplay, saw the number one and number two wide receivers make a play.
Yeah.
And because I think it's Nuke, and then I think it's Diggs are probably the best two wide receivers if I'm actually going to number them. And then we can have the conversation about who's three and beyond that.
Yeah, I think that's pretty fair, actually. I know you mentioned during the game that you thought Smoke Brown had hurt his knee again.
Yeah.
What do you have any word on that? Was that official or?
So I mean, he definitely fucked up his knee to the point where they like retaped it like early, like they taped that shit early. But then there was one play where he went down kind of funny, and I thought he hurt his other knee, but it turns out because he bent like a fucking butterfly. But it apparently it was his ankle, so he's just all sorts of fucked up below the waist.
Well, y'all are going into a bye, right?
Yes, we are going into a bye week, so he's got a little bit of time to rest up. We're going into a bye. It would have been great to be 8-2. You know, it's kind of like you going into your bye week. Hey, having that win would have been really nice, but we are where we are, and we're gonna take this rest and get ready for the back nine, as it were. Yeah. And honestly, the Bills are getting arrested at a really good time, especially since we're, in great trajectory to hit the playoffs. This is basically like a perfect halfway point to get some time to recuperate and self-scout and all that kind of stuff.
Sure. Yeah. And you got, especially with the back half of your schedule, you got some games there, the Chargers could be a trap game for you. And then you still got to play the Steelers, the Patriots, and Miami. Obviously, the Patriots, kind of a coin flip, but we'll get to them later. But Miami, man, they're making a very, very, very strong push at that division right now in a really kind of inopportune time. Fortunately, you do got the bye week, like you said, but it's like the one time it's starting to feel like the narrative for me, at least personally, is like the Bills obviously got their shit together this season. They're a good football team. There's some things we got to work on defense. That can be said about a lot of the league, honestly. But there's shit we got to work on defense. There's some games where we're seeing some older tendencies from Josh Allen that we're not super comfortable with. But this was the year where the Bills were going to fucking just come out and just fuck the AFC East. And then Miami was just like, yeah, but no.
Us too.
Yeah, us too. So now Miami is making their case, and they're making their case off of 5 consecutive wins at this point.
Yeah. And Tua winning 3 of them.
Mm-hmm. And Tua, not just to quickly segue into the Miami Chargers game, because that's one of the games I was paying attention to, because this is my make or break bowl.
Right.
Justin Herbert, Tua Tagovailoa. Okay.
I knew you wanted to talk, or you were going to want to talk about this.
Yeah. Is it cool?
Yeah.
Are we cool? Tua didn't throw a pick, and Justin Herbert did. So.
So game, set, match.
So game, set, and match, nerds. They both had a very similar game. Tua was more effective, didn't throw any picks, took care of the ball, and both teams, Miami jumped out to a really early lead, and then both teams just started trying to really smack each other in the mouths. The Chargers did a good job really crawling back into that one, but interceptions. Because the Dolphins, that interception turned into points almost immediately. So
yeah, I mean, what I was gonna say is really in Tua's favor is I kind of feel like he's doing it with less, arguably, but is Justin Herbert doing it with less? He's got Keenan Allen, and that's kind of it.
Yeah, pretty much Keenan Allen.
Tua's at least got Mike Gesicki and Devontae Parker. Like, he's at least got 2 weapons.
Oh, sure, yeah. But
no interceptions.
No interceptions.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what receivers you have. Picks are picks, dog.
Mm-hmm.
And then, that interception. And honestly, Miami did a fair amount to try to give that game back to the Chargers. Like they lost a fumble, and they fumbled twice, but the Chargers only recovered 1, and so the turnovers were even, but it wasn't Tua that did it. So I was right, and everybody else was wrong, and Tua's winning Rookie of the Year.
Uh-huh.
And that's literally the only thing you need to take away from this game is that, Keith's smarter than you guys.
And so humble.
So humble.
The humblest.
I am the humble boy. That's all I wanted to mention about that game.
Jackass.
Yeah, Tua's better than Justin Herbert.
All right.
I don't care what you assholes say. I'm gonna buy a Tua jersey.
Do it.
I'm gonna get a custom Tua jersey though from another team though, because I don't think I could in good conscience buy a Miami jersey knowing that my best friend and co-host is a Bills fan. I feel like that would be kind of against brand.
Be a little.
Walk around in a Miami jersey, yeah. So I'm gonna go to NFL.com's website and get a custom Tua Tagovailoa, I don't know, fucking who's a team we don't care about.
The Chargers.
Chargers. There you go. Tua should be playing for the Chargers right now.
Get the other team he was supposed to go to. Then let's quickly jump over to the Ravens-Patriots game.
Yes.
You said you were also paying attention to this because of the Ravens.
Yeah. And them motherfuckers lost.
They sure did.
Yeah. Yeah.
Another ugly weather game.
Yeah, no, this game was wet.
Leaving that all in, by the way.
There was a whole bunch of wet-ass Patriots out there.
So that's been the Fourth and Wrong podcast.
Hey, RJ, I think they're funny now. I've accepted them.
Uh-huh. Saw that coming. How many weeks ago did I call that?
It was actually last week. Actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Look, I'm not proud of it. Okay.
Uh-huh.
It's just I'm not mad at it anymore.
It's just
okay?
it's the cycle, man.
It's just the cycle. It's living on the internet. Yeah. No. Wet game. Shitty game. Cam Newton, you're my hero. Because now we're tied with Baltimore in the division.
It's true. Don't they have a tiebreaker over you,
Shut the fuck up. I'm supposed to mention that part.
Uh-huh.
Okay. What I'm saying is they need to keep losing.
Is there anything we're actually taking away from this game? Cam Newton went 13 for 17. That's all he did.
Yeah, I mean that's all. Have you been paying attention to the Patriots? Stats
Yeah, I have.
Season?
Again, that's why we're calling 150 yards a Cam Newton. I mean,
yeah,
that's my own joke.
Wasn't that your thing?
Yes.
Still a decent QBR. I mean, when your fucking running back pops off for 120 yards, you don't really need to throw the ball that much.
That's true.
We kind of established that with the Bills or with the Browns game.
Yo, why is the Patriots? Why is your best quarterback playing wide receiver? Just saying.
Oh, Jacoby Myers' touchdown throw. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it always, man.
Did you see that thing? It looked like a Steph Curry 3, with the amount of arc it had on it.
That's what I was just about to say. It always cracks me up whenever like a receiver takes like the end around touchdown throw play, because like every single one you can go back and except for maybe Julian Edelman, who has like legitimate like quarterback pedigree, but like every single time a receiver throws a deep touchdown like 20 plus yards, it always looks like they're throwing a punt. They're just fucking, because that's just how they got to get it there. Yeah. And it always looks ugly as fuck. But it was a touchdown, so.
Oh, that was the other thing I was going to say about the Bills game. I have a fun stat for you. The Bills are 0-2 against DeAndre Hopkins when Josh Allen scores a receiving touchdown first.
Look, I want to know who gets paid, like legitimate money, to do that, to do just that. Like what? I'm gonna just be mega obscure. Like find the mega obscure.
Oh, that's a me stat.
You dug that one out.
Somebody
needs to pay you money. Mm. Hey, we got to trademark that stat before like Pro Football Focus comes after it or something.
Well, it was funny because it was the playoff game against the Texans last year. We opened up with a touchdown pass from John Brown to Josh Allen for our first score. And this was Isaiah McKenzie to Josh Allen for a score to the left side. Both times we kicked a bunch of field goals afterwards and then lost the game.
Right.
So what I'm saying is we got to put points on the board before Josh is allowed to score any more fucking receiving touchdowns.
Yeah, there is a trend.
Yeah. So there's your mega obscure stat of the week. Yeah. That's an original.
So what we're saying is Josh Allen's not allowed to play receiver anymore?
Yeah, or at least not until there's already a touchdown on the board.
Yeah. And that's what makes it even like more like the like disgusting coincidence is like not only did he score a touchdown as a receiver, it was the first touchdown scored by the Bills, and D-Hop was on the other team's offense and lost. And both games, y'all lost on some bullshit. Mm. So maybe y'all just need to stop playing DeAndre Hopkins. How's that?
I'm telling you, he's Buffalo Kryptonite.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you did mention that.
Yeah. But I don't know. That's about all I've got. Unless you said you had news.
I do got news.
Send news.
I shall send news.
Send it.
News number 1. Drew Brees has a collapsed lung and fractured ribs from his injury from the football games the other day.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. So during the medical evaluations on Monday after their game, it revealed they had multiple rib fractures on both sides of his chest, and his right lung was collapsed. They're kind of unsure about like how much time that's going to make him miss. I would fancy at least a little.
Yeah.
So I am morbidly curious.
Or if, in Tyrod's case, like a career's worth of time.
Yeah, well, and what here's the thing that kind of kicks me a little bit. It kind of irritates me a little bit. Because, so, if you weren't privy to the 49ers-Saints game, after the first half, Jameis Winston took over for the rest of the game. Because Drew Brees pretty much determined, he told this coaching staff, he's like, I can't play. I can barely breathe. Mm-hmm. And they didn't catch this until today, that he had multiple broken ribs and a collapsed lung.
Jeez.
If a perfectly healthy pro athlete is complaining of enough shortness of breath to where and you know how football players can get, they'll play through almost anything.
Right.
Especially if future Hall of Fame mini tank Drew Brees goes, yo dog, I can't breathe, I can't finish the rest of the game, I would imagine that x-rays and stuff are being performed at the facility, like on the spot, just like any other injury. Like, because we see people leave, like they'll like take a knee injury or an ankle injury or an arm injury, and they'll determine that they're out for the game or they're questionable, but then they'll just take them to the back with x-rays because they have x-rays there at the stadium.
Right.
Guess what? Collapsed lungs show up on x-rays. That's a pneumothorax shows up on an x-ray.
Ooh, say them big words again.
Yeah. Omelette. That's a throwback for you Cartoon Network kids.
Omelette du fromage.
Yep, omelette du fromage. Yeah, like normal hospital procedure, if somebody's complaining of chest pain and shortness of breath, they get an x-ray, just period.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's like you got like multi-million-dollar medical staffs and multi-million-dollar medical facilities, and you're catching a collapsed lung on a Monday. That's kind of concerning, because as symptoms develop, like that can kill you.
Yeah.
So that's kind of scary.
Plus the Rona.
Plus the Rona, yeah. Like, so it didn't. They're claiming it didn't show up when the X-rays were showed. So let me tread back on some of the stuff I did say. They did take X-rays at the facility. They're claiming they didn't see it due to inflammation or possible inflammation. That may be true. I'm not a doctor, but me personally, anecdotally, as a medical professional, I have never seen that. I've never seen inflammation prevent you from seeing a pneumo on an X-ray.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying it can't happen. It's just, it's kind of scary. Whether or not it's the medical staff's fault or not, that's not what I'm saying. No slander here. I'm not saying anybody's at fault. I'm just saying it's concerning because that's a really serious injury.
No, yeah, we hear what the Saints are cheaping out, and they've got a horrible medical team.
They spent all of that money on fucking Bountygate.
Like, Taysom Hill, do one more thing. Like,
yeah, be the team doctor, you fucking freak.
Like, be a radiologist. Like, come on.
Where did Taysom Hill go to college? Because like, if he went to like some smart dude college,
I want to say like BYU.
That'd make that joke much fun. Yeah, BYU. Never mind. He's not a doctor. He's dumb. So
why do I know where Taysom Hill went to college?
I don't know. Maybe you simp for Taysom Hill.
Why do I know that?
Yeah. We stand Taysom Hill in this house. I don't know about your house.
I'm fine with him.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So
I got nothing against the guy.
early projections for timetables 2 to 3 weeks, which sounds about right to me. But now this is where the morbid curiosity kicks in. We get to watch Jameis Winston start football games in the NFL.
Unless they start Taysom Hill for some reason.
God, you would almost think that'd be like the smarter choice.
You're paying the guy more money.
Yeah, just do everything out of the Wildcat, where Taysom Hill's the Wildcat.
Yeah.
Because he's the receiver, tight end, offensive lineman, running back, quarterback combo. You bring
Jameis Winston in as like the 2-minute quarterback or whatever. Bring him in for the last drive.
Mm-hmm. So, I'm excited to see if famous Jameis single-handedly and systematically destroys the Saints' playoff chances, because Tampa Bay is making a hard run at that division right now.
Yeah.
So,
God, but wouldn't that be funny if Jameis Winston just like spanked Tampa Bay next time? Like, oh, you got rid of me, and you've got Tom. Fucking 600 yards, 7 touchdowns.
Well, we'd have to wait for next year for that because they've already played twice. But
oh, did they?
Yeah.
Shit.
The Saints opened their season with Tampa Bay.
See, this is me being good at schedules.
Mm-hmm. That's fine. The only reason I knew that because I was picking up what you're putting down. I looked at it just to make sure.
It's a good call.
Yeah. Because I would want to see that. I would want to see famous Jameis just go out there and just slaughter Tampa Bay.
Eat a dub on them.
Yeah. Fucking dude, did you see that picture?
No.
So the Tampa Bay Saints game from, obviously not this last week they didn't play, but the week before, like they got a picture of Jameis Winston like eating a dub in a Saints jersey at the Tampa Bay game in Tampa Bay. Like after the Saints beat him, he was eating that dub, and I was like, I mean, it's fucking rolling with the joke, I guess.
Be who you can afford to be, I guess.
Exactly. Yeah. It's still literally the worst like hype speech from a quarterback in the history of hype speech.
It's pretty bad.
You see that? That's a W. Yes, Jameis. I also went to elementary school. Oh, why are you putting that in your mouth? Please stop.
And we wonder where the Rona came from.
Jameis Winston. Yeah. Right here. Stamp it. It's official. But yeah, so T's and P's out to fucking Drew Brees. As always, we don't like seeing people get hurt, but we do follow the news that follows behind it.
T's and P's to Mr. Brees.
Yep, T's and P's to Mr. Brees. I like that. That's fancy. There is one thing I wanted to talk about.
What's that?
Because I think that's it for the news.
What? We got one news this time.
Yeah, we got a singular news. Pretty big news, though. So let's talk about this NFC East again.
Do we have to?
Yeah, unfortunately. I am tired of Philly being number one in this division.
Danny Dimes can run.
After fucking losing all the fucking always.
Yeah.
I want so bad for somebody else to not win, or for somebody else to win this division.
Dallas can still win the division just by beating NFC East teams.
Can they? Good.
So I've been told. I haven't actually looked at their schedule, but
we'll take it at face value. Good. And I don't like Dallas, but here's why. Because I saw a tweet from a Philly fan. Okay. Where he said, I would be perfectly okay with 9-6-1. Okay, so you're picking up on the same like problem that I had when it comes to...
You think you're going to get to 9?
Yeah, you think you're going to get to 9? Bro, what fucking planet do you live on where this Philadelphia Eagles team makes it to 9 wins? Yeah, no. Especially because they have to play us, the Seahawks, the Packers, the Saints, the Cardinals, before they close out their last 2 divisional games. Yeah. It's literally Browns, Seahawks, Packers, Saints, Cardinals, Cowboys, Washington. In what fucking world is that a 9-6-1 team? Yeah. And what made it worse is the rest of the tweet was 9-6-1 and make a wild card game, make the playoffs. And I was like, bro, you can make the playoffs with a losing record in this division.
Yeah, if you make it 9-6-1, I mean, you're definitely hosting a home game.
Yeah,
in that division.
Yeah, you don't need 9-6-1. I'd just be happy making the playoffs. You can do that by doing what you're doing now. Just be slightly less trash than the rest of the people in your division. That's how the NFL works. Like we had a 7-9 team in the playoffs before. They got pub smashed in the first fucking week of the playoffs, but they were there because they won their division.
But 5-10-1 could win the division.
Exactly. It's disgusting. It's fucking disgusting. I hate American football. That's a lie. I love football, but it's like, in what fucking planet is any team in this division a 9 or 10 win team? But that made me giggle. I have started noticing there are some Philly fans that are starting to jump off the Carson Wentz train a little bit with his 12 touchdown, 12 interception self.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, that doesn't surprise me. We know my take on it.
Yeah, like he's so tough. Toughness don't win you football games, my guy. Especially when you keep dying. Get that man out before he dies. But I found that little piece of social media humorous.
All right. Well, we got anything else?
Scrolling.
Buffering. Reticulating splines.
Dude, ESPN really wants me to watch this replay of D-Hop mossing all your dudes.
Yeah, I mean, do it later. I watched it. I relived the pain.
Yeah,
and it's not. And you know what the funny thing is? It's not even pain. It's just like it's a little bit of shock. It's like it's like the Band-Aid got ripped off so fast.
Sure.
I'm like,
I mean, plays like that are a statistical anomaly. It's like you sit back and go, how the fuck did that even happen?
Yeah.
And then it did. So I want to talk briefly about Tom Brady, and then we can tighten it up. We can close it out.
Okay.
If you'd humor me.
Sure.
So Antonio Brown looked good.
They've got him returning fucking punts.
Well,
that's how you know something's damaged with him.
He was a punt returner when he was.
Yeah, but he's still doing it.
Yeah, good.
You'd think
really good.
You'd think if he was correct in his ways, he'd like.
Hey man, you want to see how damaged this man was when it comes to? Let me show you.
No, yeah, he's an incredible. He's again very instinctual. It's what makes him a great wide receiver too, is he knows how to find an opening and just get there.
Well, he also knows how to do. I'm gonna show you. Because, as a Browns fan, this shit scarred me. Not only did we get our fucking pee-pee smacked in this
Is this
game,
the one where
which we did,
where he jump kicked your dude in the face?
Spoilers.
Yeah. No, I'm aware.
I really dislike AB sometimes.
I don't blame you.
That was one of those times. He got flagged and fined and stuff, so that's cool. But, yeah, AB looked good. Also out there returning punts. Rob Gronkowski is kind of looking a little bit like his former self. But, man, I think the word that was used in the sports media during Hot Take Monday was surgical.
Uh-huh.
Did you know Tom Brady's already thrown for 23 touchdowns this season?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's pretty fucking good. He's fourth in the league in touchdowns, fourth in the league in yards, and he's surrounded by talent. If this is what Tampa Bay looks like when they're feeling themselves,
it was Carolina.
I know, and I always, I try to take stuff like that into account. I really do, because you're right. It was Carolina.
I mean, you got the week before they got absolutely dominated.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. The Bills have never been dominated like that. Not this season.
No, not this season.
So by that logic, the Bills are better than Tampa Bay. Stamp it. Put it on a shirt.
God damn it.
Close out the show. RJ said it.
Yep.
My arm hurts. I got a flu shot today. It's
Nice.
very uncomfortable.
Which means now you got the flu.
Yeah. God, Stephon already has 906 receiving yards.
He sure does.
What a freak. Only 4 touchdowns, though. What is he doing?
He's getting them yards.
Get your fucking life together, bro.
Well, if we don't have anything else...
Buffering.
This joke only works so many times.
It's buying me time, isn't it? Yeah, no, that's all I got.
All right.
Short episode. Nice and tight.
Yeah. So this has been the Fourth and Wrong podcast for November the 16th, 2020. Thanks for watching. Say goodbye, Keith.
You never say thanks for watching.
Yeah, well...
That confused me.
Maybe I'm changing things up.
Don't do that. It's scary.
Say goodbye, Keith.
Goodbye, Keith.
I'm okay if this one is short. I watched very little football and very few highlights.
I fell asleep during my game.
It's true. I probably, even just sparingly watching it, watched more of your game than you did.
Mm-hmm. I watched more of your game than I watched my game.
All right.
And then I watched a little bit of the primetime game.
Huh. Hoo-ha! Hoo-ha! Huh!
Hoo-ha! Huh! Man, I'm pretty.
I don't know how that's going to look at the end.